community. The day which we are waiting for since last 2 months has lastly arrived, and we are about to begin the inaugural session of the 2 days international conference organized by Bombay Physical Culture College of Physical Education, Mumbai, Maharashtra, India. Welcome, sir. On behalf of organizing secretary, on behalf of the institution, I welcome the luminaries of the field of physical education and sports science. Welcome, ma'am. The chairman of the institution and patron of this international conference, Sanjay Baburaj Shetty Sahib is here. I request along with the Shetty Sahib the dignitaries to be please be on the dais. I request Rathore sir to be on the dais. Before we begin the session and the inaugural session, I would like to request Professor and the principal of this institution, Dr. Sir, to gather everyone in front for the Saraswati Puja and lighting of the lamp. Yes, thank you very much. And now I request the dignitaries on the dais, and I request Professor, Dr. Sir and Principal to please guide them on the dais. Yes, all the dignitaries please be on the dais. I request Rathore sir, the Vice Chancellor of the Palamur University, be on the dais. The patron and the chairman and the president of the institution, Shri Sanjay Babarao ji Shetty. I request Mohammad B.P.C.A sir on the dais, Limbun sir on the dais. Khanna sir, Bhaktiyar sir, Virendra Sehwag sir, Dr. Karunde sir on the dais, Deepak Shetty sir on the dais, all the dignitaries which are here too. The resource person of this 2 days international conference, Dr. Makaran sir on the dais, Koti sir on the dais, Hayward sir on the dais, Anjil madam on the dais, Jane madam on the dais, Rosemary madam from the Germany, please be on the dais. Dr. Balwant sir on the dais. A warm good morning to all, and on behalf of the organizing secretary, on behalf of the organizing committee, I wish everyone happy Makar Sankranti. The luminaries on the dais will be here to enlighten us on the field of physical education and sports science in these 2 days. The conference on physical education, sports science, yoga and recreation for global well-being. I take this opportunity to welcome on behalf of the organizing committee and request the patron and the president of this institution, Sri Sanjay Baburao Shetty, to felicitate them with a token of love. In this, I will begin with the first Vice Principal of the Physical Education and Sports Sciences, Dr. L.B. Rathod sir, Vice Chancellor of the Palamara University. I request Shetty sir to please felicitate him with a token of love. Then I request Shetty sir to felicitate today's keynote address speaker, Muhammad Lee CP from Malaysia. He is also a resource person of the today's international conference. Then I request sir to felicitate the another resource person of this international culture, Mr. Lim sir. Then I call upon Yogachari Dranko Mikli. I request sir to felicitate Professor Natalia Solvi from Argentina. I request sir to felicitate Sufin Madam, Dr. Sufin Madam. She is from Malaysia. I request sir to felicitate Professor Dr. G.L. Khanna, Pro Vice Chancellor, Mano Rachana University, Faridabad. I request sir to felicitate Gurdeep Singh sir, former Joint Secretary ARU. I request sir to felicitate Dr. Rajesh Kumar sir from Hyderabad. He is President of B.P.C.A and Dean of the Physical Education Faculty, Hyderabad. Dr. Virender sir. Dr. Bakhtiyar sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request the General Secretary of the institution and the patron of the conference, Dr. Deepak Shetty sir, to felicitate Dr. Anil Karwande sir. I request sir to felicitate Mr. Dilip Heble sir. I request sir to felicitate Dr. Anjali Madam, Principal Sri Shivaji College of Physical Education, Amravati. I request sir to felicitate Dr. Balwant Singh sir. I request sir to felicitate Rosemary Madam. I request sir to felicitate Ankita Jain Madam. I request sir to felicitate two our good friends, Dr. Kote sir and Dr. Makaran sir. Thank you, sir. Last but not the least, the spiritual guru of our institution and very good friend to our institution, Director of the Lonavala Yoga Institute, Dr. Manmat Gharote sir. I request the President of the institution, Sanjay Babu of the city, to felicitate Manmat Gharote sir. Thank you, sir. Without the support of the two pillars, this event would have been not possible. In fact, they are the backbone of this institution. Their quest for physical education and sports science and games is undoubtedly known to everyone, not only in the jurisdiction of the Mumbai, but jurisdiction of Maharashtra and jurisdiction of India. I request Rathod sir to please a token of love to our beloved President Sanjay Baburao Shetty. And I request today's keynote address, B.P.C.A. sir, to felicitate Dr. Deepak Shetty sir, the General Secretary of our institution. The support, the guidance given by these two persons is because of these two, the institution is standing not only in the jurisdiction of the Mumbai but in the Maharashtra. Thank you very much for being here and honor this session. Now I request the convener of this conference and the principal of the institution, Professor Dr. Ghanshyam Dhokrat sir, to please give the introductory speech on this occasion. Dr. Dhokrat sir. Ready?
Sir, please welcome.
One more person, the Secretary of the Maharashtra Olympic Association and our friend Namdev Shirgaonkar sir is here. I request Shetty sir to please felicitate with a token of love. Thank you, sir. I hand over the mic to Dr. Dhokrat sir.
Namaste. Good morning. And my dear Malaysian friends, Salamat Pagi. It is with immense pleasure and honor that I extend a heartfelt welcome to each one of you as we embark on this intellectual odyssey in the transformative year of 2024. I am truly delighted to stand before such a distinguished gathering. The lesson of 2023, much like the flowing Gangas and the serene Malaysian waters, remind us of the inseparable bond between human health and environment. Drawing inspiration from Indian wisdom, let's reflect on the words of Swami Vivekananda: arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is reached. Our collective pursuit of knowledge is journey towards healthier, more harmonious world. This conference serves as a dynamic platform, resonating with the spirit of Malaysia's diverse culture tapestry. In the words of tuned Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, our success today depends on collective strength. Together we aim to introduce novel methodology and insights, not merely exploring but refining the scientific principles underpinning physical education, sports science, yoga and recreation. reflecting on the pivotal role of yoga in promoting overall well-being. I am reminded the ancient Indian saying, yoga is the journey of the self through the self to the self. Today, we explore how the integration of traditional wisdom with contemporary scientific understanding can open new dimensions for holistic health in the modern context. This conference, meticulously curated with the varied sub-themes, represent a spectrum of knowledge ranging from sports management and rehabilitation, from sports psychology to yoga. Each sub-themes intricately views a distinct facet into our collective pursuit of enhancing global well-being through focused and specialized research. In this intellectual symposium, let's embrace the spirit of collaboration that transcends boundaries, envisage a future where our shared insights become catalyze our thriving global society. With the words of Tagore in mind, the highest education is that which does not merely give us information but makes our lives harmony with all existence. Let's collectively strive for knowledge that harmonizes and enriches lives. With profound gratitude, I extend my heartfelt appreciation to the luminary at the helm, our esteemed President and Chief Patron of this conference, Mr. Sanjay Shetty. His guiding light has not only illuminated the path of this intellectual conference, but has been a beacon of inspiration and our visionary patron and General Secretary, Mr. Deepak Shetty. Their unwavering commitment has been compass guiding us through the international conference. In their leadership, we find not only direction but inspiration, fostering a collective spirit that evaluates our scholarly pursuit. This conference stands as a testament of their dedicated support. Their leadership and guidance have been instrumental in bringing us together for this scholarly endeavor. I express my sincere thanks to all my teaching faculty, my colleagues and non-teaching staff for their unconditional support and efforts for the success of this grand international conference. I conclude with my warm regards to all. Thank you one and all. Thank you one.
Thank you, sir, for your elaborating and encouraging words on this occasion. Now I request the guest of honors of today's Dr. Rathod sir to please address the august gathering.
Very good morning to you all. Respected the President of this prestigious institution, Professor Sanjay Seth Garu, Sri Deepak Seth Garu, General Secretary of this institution, the keynote speaker of this two-day international conference, Professor Muhammad Lee, another keynote speaker, Professor Lim Boon Hoy, the Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor G.N. Khanna sir, Bhaktiyar Chaudhary sir, Professor Virendra Garu, Professor Rajesh Kumar, and the main speaker, Yogacharya, Nick Lee, Sophia Madam, and Natella, and many stalwarts sitting on the dais, and of the dais, and my dear young friends. I am really happy to be here for this conference. I congratulate the organizers. They are organizing 2-day international conference in a great manner. It is not easy to conduct seminar in heart of the city of Bombay. Really, once again I congratulate the organizers and teaching faculty, non-teaching and students. At the very outset, I appreciate the proactive gesture of the Bombay Physical Culture Association, College of Physical Education, in organizing this international conference on physical education, sports science, yoga and recreation for global well-being. The message for the conference is timely and assume added significance as we are in different stages of preparation towards strength of our national building. It is so thoughtful of the best in physical education, not just for the sake of guidance, but for our own well-being. Today I can proudly say I am a physical education professor, became a vice chancellor, being a sportsman. I am a football player, being a sportsman appointed by the vice chancellor in entire country. Really, I am staying in front of you because of sportsman. When a sportsman comes in early stage to the end, they recognize all over in wherever you are after completing your graduation or post-graduation, when you are leaving this college, you are working in any school, college or university, the first recognizing person is after vice chancellor only physical education teacher. Physical education is a noble profession. When you select this profession, I congratulate all of you for this noble profession. Once again, I congratulate the organizers. They are giving me this opportunity and invited me as a chief guest of honor, this prestigious institution. Whenever the organizers, any conference or any event conducting in a good manner, they will recognize an entire, this institution will recognize the entire country. Now it is recognized by the entire world. Many country outside people also came from across the globe. Really, once again I congratulate the Honorable Secretary Sir, President and entire team of this. And once again I congratulate my good friend, Professor Dr. Principal of this prestigious college. He has taken a pain to organize this international seminar in heart of the city of Bombay. Really, once again I congratulate sir. Without your pain and strain, this will not complete this today seminar. Once again I congratulate all the team members. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir, for your insight in the physical education and enlightening up the August gathering, the theme of this conference. Now I request the friend of the institution and the special invitee of this international conference, Secretary of the Maharashtra Olympic Association, Dr. Namdev Shirgaonkar sir, to please address the August gathering.
International Conference for Physical Education, Sports Science, Yoga and Recreation for Global Well-being. First of all, I would like to welcome all the delegates, those who came all across the world to be here in Mumbai, and like to give a warm welcome on behalf of Maharashtra Olympic Association to all of you. And thank you for your time and support for this particular conference. I think without your presence, this conference would have not reached to different level. All the dignitaries present on the dais, all my students, all the teachers. Once again, I got an opportunity. I think last year I was here for the conference, and today we've seen that this is an international conference again, and it's going at a different level altogether. And I've seen many people visiting and the research going on. The conferences which today I think is going to be discussed, the topic about physical education is an always important subject for any sports person in his life, where his life starts itself in a physical education. As just now Vice Chancellor has already mentioned that the second recognized person in any college or institution is a physical education teacher. Today you've seen many of sports persons in this country, those who are representing country, making glory, getting names for the country. I think it will be or it was impossible without the physical education teacher who has met as his school, grassroots school, where he has been picked up from the full of crowd and he has been nurtured for the that particular sport. So I think that's a very important aspects for physical education. As this, I'll come back with about this institution, but physical education is a heart of any sports person. And also I think sports science nowadays, I've been recently to Asian Games, I've been to last year Tokyo Olympic Games, and of course I'll be participating in Paris Olympic Games. First individual medal in our country, for our country, and I think today is his birthplace, and recently with all our efforts, the government of Maharashtra declared the 15th January is a state sport day. And I think that today is the 15th January, Sports Day. And at this occasion, I think this conference is playing very important role. And the cherry on cake is like that the sports person who has won the medal, Mr. Khashaba Jadhav, is also belong to hometown of Mr. Sanjay Shetty. I think so that his hometown, his entire circle and this physical education has played a very, very important and vital role for our Olympic development in the Maharashtra. Once again, I would like to wish you all the best. I would like to request all the students, we have a lot of importance and international dignitaries are here. You will never get such opportunity to meet them, to learn them, and to ask them as many questions to them, so that you can get as much as knowledge through this conference. So this is a very, very important, because a college and education, anybody is supporting and they are bringing all together. I think it's an opportunity for you to learn from them and take it to the various part of the country. I wish you once again all the best and thank you very much for this.
Thank you, sir, for your blessing. Now we would like to felicitate Dr. Piyush Jain and Dr. B.P.C.A. Prasad. I request Dr. Dhokrat sir to please felicitate them with the token of love. I request you, sir, to felicitate Karina madam. She is from Jakarta, Indonesia.
Hey, Sarak.
Thank you, sir. Now I request the Secretary, General Secretary of the institution, Deepak. Sorry, I request Dr. Khanna, sir, the Vice Chancellor, Pro Vice Chancellor of the University, Dr. Khanna, sir, to please bless us on this occasion.
Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to be with all of you. And it's really a great platform, a vibrant platform which Dr. Dhokrat and his team has created, and the students, I see the dynamic students are doing really working hard to make it a best successful conference and to create an environment where we can have the exchange with the all experts, those who have come from very far distances to interact with us, to really work not only for one time, to work for long time also, to have some kind of Dr. Piyush and other colleagues from other institutions. And I have been attending the conference. I have seen this the one of the best conference which I have been attending today, but because I can see the well organized, and I Dr. Saab, because really applaud for that and very much appreciate it. I think the sports science which I have seen growing here, I have been associated with the National Institute of Sports, Sports Authority of India, the other Ministry of Youth Affairs Sports, even Olympic Task Force created by PM from Prime Minister of India. And then seen the development of sports performance also. Still, I think there is a change in the shift, there is a change in the direction from all higher ups also, from the ministry also. There is a change in the whole, the eco-environment of sports development. But somewhere this role of physical education, we have to also take much more leading role now, because the environment has been created. What best we should do it here to involve ourselves, to involve in all kind of activity which are related to bringing the glory of the nation from the sports performance, from the sports total eco-environment which we have to give, which the industrial environment, the economy of the sports, and the other aspect which are coming up, even the IT sector, even the other aspect from various, the different global environment which is required in the sports economy, that is still we are far behind, and I hope in the next generation, by interacting with each other, we will be discussing these factors also in our discussion and come out with a solution, and definitely we have to give our feedback to the government also, so that the changes in that direction also happens. And I congratulate all the organizers and the people, those who are with us today, for making it a successful conference. And to the students, really keep it up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request the General Secretary of this institution and the patron of the conference, Dr. B.P.C.A, sir, to address the gathering, and also I request him to declare this international conference open.
Good morning all. On behalf of Bombay Physical Culture Association and College of Physical Education, I welcome Professor Dr. L.B. Rathod, Vice Chancellor, Palmaru University, Professor Dr. Mohammad Lee, CB, CEO, AECM, Founder of Exercise Medicine, Malaysia, Dr. Lim Boom Hui, Segi University, Malaysia, Dr. Yu Su Fen, Physiotherapist, ex-Vice President of Malaysia, Physiotherapy Association, Malaysia, Yogacharya, Zadranko Miklek, Vice President of European Yoga Federation, International Secretary General of the World Academy of Ayurveda from India, Croatia, Professor Natalia Solve, Director, Atmabodh Yoga University, Argentina, and all the dignitaries, resource persons from various parts of the globe, and all the students of the college. I welcome everyone on this inaugural function of Second International Conference 2024. Friends, Bombay Physical Culture Association, also known as BPCA, this association is established on 29 June 1935 during British period with great vision. Balam Rashtriya Vardhanam means strength for nation building. In fact, this vision of the institute is based on the universal truth, survival of the fittest and true national spirit. The College of Physical Education was established in June 1978. The college is recognized by NCTE, Government of Maharashtra, and accredited 4th cycle of NAC, and received the Best College Award by University of Mumbai. The purpose of organizing this conference is to increase the awareness and interact with experts in physical education, sports science, yoga, and recreation. I hope this conference will bring awareness of global well-being. I wish all the delegates a very warm good luck for this conference and for their scientific session. Now I declare two-day international conference on physical education, sports science, yoga and recreation for global well-being open.
Thank you, sir, elaborating us on the purpose of this institution and the working of the institution, and your support and guidance on this occasion for the 2 days international conference. Now I request the dais to please release the journal of this second 2 days international conference on physical education, sports science, yoga, recreation for global well-being. We are officially releasing the journal of this conference 2024. Yashpal sir, who is responsible to publish this journal, Dr. Yashpal sir. Thank you, respected dais. As we come to the end of this inaugural session, I take this opportunity to thank everyone present on the dais and off the dais. On the dais, without them, this 2 days could have been not possible, and without you people who are sitting in front of the dais, and you being going to be enlightened in this coming 2 days on the physical education, sports science, yoga and recreation. So I declare this inaugural function is over, and I request the dais, the people on the dais, to be in the front of the dais. So we'll have immediately after this the keynote address.
fitness, the ability of us to have more energy when we are fit, to play with the family. Back in the 90s, we train, we exercise to prevent injuries. Because when we start to exercise to get more energy, we will have injuries. When we reach the year 2000, exercise is to reduce injury recovery time and to get back to play. And lastly, in 2010, exercise is to prevent and use as a form of medication. So that's how, during this evolution of exercise, or evolution of the component or the residue from exercise called fitness, it has been used now as a form of medication. That's why in year 2009, we have identified the evolution. I sat together with the Ministry of Health, that's how we designed and founded exercise medicine. Each time when you move, your heart beats goes higher. What are the good adaptation? What are the good changes in the cell morphology? What happens to the muscular fibers? The remodeling of your cardiac muscle? Everything works. But importantly and interestingly is that when you move, your muscle becomes a secretory organ. It starts to secrete a lot of chymes, called myokines. But on the other hand, when you move it at a correct dosage, it also increases a gaseous called nitrous oxide. And that helps you to expand and dilate the arteries and reduce hypertension. That's why you see that after exercise, your blood pressure goes down immediately. Right? So this is a very interesting part of it that you see that's why we want you to move, and we want you to move appropriately. All right, let's not look at the rest. Look at this graph here. This is called the substrate utilization at cellular level. We have 3 types of macronutrients that we eat every day: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Out of these 3, when it goes into your body, some will be utilized to repair, some will be stored, and some will be thrown away. So end of the day, those who are being stored, you can't get them off so easy. What are being stored? Glycogen, that is from the macronutrients of carbohydrates. It can be used completely, very fast. When you exercise and then you smell that your body has got this pungent nitrate smell, that means you have completely depleted the glycogen, you are cannibalizing your muscles, and that's where nitrogen is being released and you smell. That means you are doing overtime, you are doing too much. But then you have a lot of fat by the side here, visceral fat. My colleague Supan's favorite, she loves to talk about visceral fat, the danger of it. Now, fat is so important that it actually connects every synapse, every cells, every intermittent of the impulse crossing. Fat is so important to act as a cushion. Fat is so important, but they never make us look good. Because either you have a bulk here or you have a bulk here. But some of you all will say that I'm fat but I'm fit. There has been once, I think about a couple of years ago, we had a big argument, not an argument, it was a debate, that they said, I'm fat and I'm good. I can do split, I can do jump, I can do this. Well, that's it. But on the other hand, if you want to reduce fat, some of them, there are so many diets that's going on now. Not to mention any one of them. So many diets. But if the world is going to be so successful in those diets, then there will be no more death rate caused by obesity. Obesity used to be a risk factor. And today, obesity is a disease. All right? Now, using this substrate utilization chart, if you were to move fast, you burn instant energy. All right? And if you were to move fast a little bit longer, your instant energy will finish, and you have a little bit more what we call the creatine phosphate to assist you to continue. But then you could not stop, you go further. The body will start to tap glycogen, not using oxygen to burn and gives you more ATP, which is energy. But then you do not want to stop to the fourth level. The body will start to use up your glycogen, but this time you are breathing and you are actually oxidizing carbohydrates, which is glycogen. And lastly, when you go on continuously for more than 20 minutes, you start to burn fat. So these are the percentage. And at different, as you all know, students, if you are still, you still remember your biochemistry, right? Bioenergetics, how the body actually burns those substrates, you should know. And when we have used this graph to use this and to treat diseases, every level of these substrates being utilized has been used to treat diseases. Right? Now, I'm not going to talk about all the good things about exercise. If you want to know the good things about exercise, you go ahead and read. But what I'm going to tell you today is actually how to use the good things, how to use the process when you produce the good things as a form of treatment. Right? We all know exercise is good. But then now people exercise, they die on the spot. Is it still good? There's called sudden death. I think it has been increased. Malaysia, so many people die of sudden death. Not to mention Malaysia, I think every country in the world, people are dying of sudden death. Alright? Now what we have done also in sudden death, we have just recently, about 2 months ago, we actually have sent the manuscript to the International Journal of Cardiology to publish a paper that we actually hypothesize that potassium plays a very important part, an important role in sudden death. But anyway, let's come back to types of exercise that's being prescribed in exercise medicine. We prescribe 3 types of exercises. 1, resistance training. You see the right-hand side corner of the door, holding a dumbbell. 2, stretching. Lastly, aerobics. If you look at that, why do you need to choose these 3? Because these 3 exercises can be done within a small enclosed area. If I were to let you go out, you will say, I'm being mugged, someone just robbed me. If I were to let you go out and exercise, then you say, I can't because it's raining. If I were to allow you to go out and exercise, you say, oh, it's too smoky, the cars are everywhere. And lastly, if I were to let you go out and exercise, which you always would give me a reason, is that I'm being chased by a dog. So these are the excuses that you want to eliminate, and you so have exercise medicine enclosed into a small little area that you can do the 3 types of exercise with the right dosage, which we have been very successful with the Ministry of Health in Malaysia. So collectively, exercise medicine works on the cardiorespiratory system or the cardiovascular system and the musculoskeletal system. All right? So what are the protocol? There's always the protocol. We try to match the conventional medicine as much as we can and see how we can match with them. So we will start the 3 key steps to perform an accurate assessment process where we take history. We have assessment process to see the status of your physical well-being and the systemic well-being of you, what's your sugar level, how's your heart functioning, and so forth. And from there, we prescribe a safe, symmetrical exercise program. Why we call it symmetrical? Because symmetrical, we do not want you to have the imbalance of the ratio of strength and flexibility of all your muscles. And lastly, there is no point that you've got all this exercise being prescribed, but you don't have anyone to teach. Here, this man who have gone to the doctor said, okay, you're going to do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. This patient said, okay, I'm 65 years old, I think I can do it. But when I go home, should I sit or should I stand? Should I raise my elbow higher or should I put my wrist higher? Should I arch my back or should I bend my knees? And now all these are called, we need someone to instruct the set of exercise correct. So in conventional medicine is that doctor will diagnose you, doctor will prescribe you medication, and doctor will teach you how many grams or milligrams to put in the mouth, which is of course much more easier than exercise. I think Dr. Bhaktir will agree with me. Alright? So basically in our exercise clinic, what we do is that we take family history, blood pressure, capillary sugar, cholesterol, ECG, spirometry, SpO2. These are all very simple things. BMI, body fat percentile. Now, body fat percentile has been a very, very in thing now. There are so many ways of measuring fat. The bioelectrical impedance, the ultrasound. Then what we do is that we use skin fold, which I think is the cheapest and most close to accurate. We don't have to select a specific time compared to bioelectrical impedance. Physical structure, we work onto the cardiovascular. We do a 3-minute step-up test. I don't need to run a 2.4 kilometer because I've seen many instructors, when they conduct a fitness test, he will ask the client, okay, we run a 2.4 kilometer and I'll take your time. So what he does is that he take an umbrella and stand in one corner and he clips and he starts to run. What if this client collapses at the corner of the lab? You know what I mean? What if it rains? What if it's too hot? So these are things we try to eliminate. Flexibility, we do a sit and reach very easy. We measure the range of motion with a goniometer. Tongue endurance, upper body strength, body composition, as I said, we use a skin fold. Hand grip. A lot of people never seen that a hand grip. I have shook hands with many people in Mumbai since I came yesterday. And I'm very glad to say that you guys have got very good hand grip. Because hand grip is directly related to the health of the heart. You've got strong grip, you've got strong heart. And it has been published in all high-impact journals. The hand grip is very important. Maximal voluntary contraction. How many Newton force can you exert with the body? And lastly, dynamic balance. Why we added the component of dynamic balance? Because in Malaysia, in the next 7 years, my country is going to be declared as an aged nation, where we will have 15% and above people who are 60 years old. I already qualify because I'm 63. All right, let's look at the prescription of exercise on the percentile of contracture force. Now, you guys have gone to the dumbbell before. Gone to the gym before. I'm sure there's a gym here. So what you do is that today I look at you, I say, okay, you come to the gym. I look at you, I think you can lift 5 kilograms. I look at this gentleman here holding the camera and he comes to me, I think your body is bigger and taller than her. I think you can lift 10 kilograms. Are we correct? No. There's no science behind it. If you want to talk about medicine in the word exercise, there must be science behind it. All right? So let's go and see how are we going to create the percentage or the Newton force or the weight that you're going to tell your athletes, your patient, to do this exercise, you have to do 3 kilograms. And that 3 kilograms, if your patient were to ask you, why 3 kilograms, you have an answer to it. All right. Now, I developed this back in 1998 when I was doing my master's with my professor back in Hungary. This is to determine maximum load so that we can establish what is the maximum force of every muscle. All right. Of course, right now in sports science, you can do the 1 max RM. Of course, athletes can do the 1 max RM. But now, in exercise medicine, 1 max RM cannot be applied to an auntie who is 62 years old and never exercised before. So we have created this to develop the strength. So we will ask this subject to kick as hard as possible. And we want to ensure that this knee, this is not accurate, all right? We're going to ensure that this knee has to be at an angle, what we call the functional arc. When you're at the functional arc means you can exert your muscle the best, which means that your H zone in the molecular structure of the muscle is not too far and it's not too close. All right? And then once you kick as hard as you can, this isometric contraction will distort a spring in the transducer. And this distortion will be amplified over here, and then it will show how many newtons in your laptop, which we have brought one in our collaboration with Professor Khanna. So based on this, 300 Newton is approximately 30 kilograms. Right? But this is my maximum voluntary contraction. But then we must remember that out of 30 kilograms now, how many times should I do? 30 kilograms, maybe you can do 2 times. Maybe you can even do 1 time. You can do 10 times, and what's it for? You can do 15 times, what it is for. So what we do is that we multiply it with a percentile here, and that percentile will be your prescription. So when you give a patient 5 kilograms, you will tell him that I multiply by 60%. Why 60%? Because 60% utilizes fat in the process of your movement. If someone wants to exert and develop power, all right, you multiply by different. I will show you the percentile first. So based on this, this is a picture. Those who are involved in lifting gym, all this. I created this International Scientific Committee on Strength Training back in year 2000. And this is Steve Fleck. This gentleman is Steve Fleck. This is Kramer, Dushan Lama, Hakkinen, and Smith Pleha. So these are a few, and we have one from China and one from Hungary. That was my dean. And we run this scientific committee on strength training, and now I have moved out from this committee and I'm focusing on exercise medicine, and they're doing very well. They're doing very well. So from here, what we have done is that from the maximum voluntary contraction, if you want to build your neural pathway, if you're a high jumper, if you're a long jumper, you must be able to do 1 to 3 reps. Means you multiply by 90%. If it's 30 kilo, 90% means 27 kilo. If it's 3 to 5, you develop strength, you build power, muscular hypertrophy, bodybuilders, any bodybuilders here, and lastly endurance, and all this substrates utilization according to the graph that we use at cellular level. Alright? So from here, I have a scientific explanation to the athlete. You're gonna squat, and you squat it, give it to me with a maximum voluntary contraction of 90 kilograms. You're powerful, and now you're a high jumper. So 90 kilograms, as a high jumper, we need the neural pathway. We need the pop. So using on that, we multiply by 90%. So this is how we use it, and we can measure 8 muscle groups with this system. Alright, here, this is one paper which I did, and I did not publish back many years ago. When you do a deadlift, like this boy here, this is one of my students, it will show you your overall general strength. Alright, we all agree that deadlift will produce an overall strength. But then, we want to see how many kilograms do you use for bicep. So we have to determine a bicep curl with a system, and then we will know how many kilograms is good for you. By multiplying the percentage, then it will give you the adaptation of neural pathway, strength, power, endurance, and so forth. And this is the system that we built, right? So you look into it that, is this correct? So the isometric deadlift, I do a maximum deadlift. It's called the overall strength. If with X Newton force, it shows that maybe about 1,000 Newton. My maximum deadlift is 1,300 something. Let's say 1,000 Newton. Correct? 1,000 Newton. And then I do an isometric bicep curl. At a functional arc, we use a goniometer to measure you. You bend your knees to release the stress on the back. You lean forward to ensure the line of pull of the biceps in its muscle arrangement to be done perpendicularly. And then the elbow must be up and functional efficiency. And then you curl. And then it gives you a Y Newton force. So let's say you do this, it gives you 400 Newton. You do this, it gives you 1000 Newton. So you divide it by them, and then you get something like 40%. Am I correct? 400 over 1000 is about 40%, correct? So that's both hands. So 400 Newtons, both hands, you do not know which hand is which. So we divide by 2. Just to eliminate unilateral strength deficit, we just divide by 2. And then you will get 19.88%. So with this 19.88%, that means the biceps contributes about 20% to your overall strength. We want to see the pectoralis major, latissimus dorsi, deltoid, biceps and triceps, quadriceps, hamstrings and calves. How many percent do they contribute? So if your athletes could not exert maximum strength, they're not going to be a good athletes. So based on this system, what we can also use it that if bicep is 20% and your athlete's using bicep in the overall strength, he can only exert 12%. You know that there's a deficit in the bicep strength, so you work on the biceps, right? That's for high performance. I go back to high performance for a little while because when I was back in the university, we monitor the Olympians. But when I came back to Malaysia, the government put me onto health, which I have left quite some time ago, but it's still in me, all right? So basically, this is how we will tell you you are good with it. And then onto the prescription of exercise dosage for your heart, right? The etiology of a sudden death, let's not talk about it. Let's look into how do I tell you how much to run before or how much to walk. Before we talk about run or jog or walk, I want to touch a little bit on the 10,000 steps. Have you heard of the 10,000 steps? I'm sure everyone heard of it. Do you know that 10,000 steps has no science behind it? It was just the Japanese created a pedometer. He also sells it, and he tells everyone to walk 10,000 steps. I have a lot of patients back home who end up with backache, shin sprain, walking on the road, and so many other injuries after 2 or 3 months, chasing the 10,000 steps. So these are things. Anyway, that's walking. So first of all, we in aerobic exercises for you to improve your heart health, your lung health, all right, and also your vascular system. We categorize you into activity level, which if you exercise 0 to 1 time, you are considered as inactive. 1 to 3 times, you are moderately active, and anything more than 3, you consider it as active. And then dosage for healthy individuals. I'm sure you know your maximum heart rate, very simple. And then for those dosage for underlying condition, people with history of heart conditions, or this person is pre-hypertensive, so forth. All right. Now, we have created a system in this cardiovascular or cardiovascular. Fast, slow, fast, slow. Fast because you feel that you are rested. Slow because you are tired and you want to slow it down, right? So these are the things that has been going on years. So about 7 years ago, we created something, and the treadmill will read your polar heart rate, and we key into your system that if you are going to exercise on the treadmill at 130 beats per minute, the treadmill will slow down, your heartbeat goes beyond 130 beats per minute. The treadmill will go faster if your heartbeats go below 130 beats. So we have fully automated this, okay? But then on the other hand, there's a graph to this treadmill. If you look into it, we call it the Dr. Fit, and there's a graph over here. I'm sure sorry, you can't see clearly. And at the end of the day, what is important about this is that about About 10 years ago, we have a paper called heart rate return. You heard of heart rate recovery, you heard of target heart rate, you heard of maximum heart rate, you heard of resting heart rate. All right, and all this is due to because that you warm up well. You don't warm up, you're already playing. But then how do you advise the athletes to cool down? Nipple around, stretching, go home. That's what we do. That's in sports. But what about those fitness instructors, gym instructors, health carers who tell people to exercise and how to cool down? So we have calculated a system called the heart rate return. And this heart rate return goes like this. Let's say you warm up between your heart rate before exercise is 80. We give you approximately 5 minutes to warm up, and your target heart rate is 130. That means you want to achieve 130. So from this 5 minutes right until the 25th minute is 20 minutes. All right? In this 20 minutes, you will maintain the heart rate 130. If you were to go on to the normal conventional heart rate, treadmill, you will never achieve 130 consistently. It goes too high. When it goes too high, you don't burn fat. If you look at the cellular level of substrate utilization, you run a little bit, correct, you'll be burning something else. But what we want to do is that when I go to the gym, I want it to be effective, I want to save time. So for me to do that, I got to make sure that the treadmill will run according to my heart rate. All right, so here, then, when I stop, how do I calculate whether I'm stopping it correctly? So we use the first minute and we calculate the heart rate recovery. All right? So if you have a heart rate recovery of 7 to 8, like for me, if I don't exercise more than 3 weeks, and then I do something else, I travel, if I go back to the treadmill, I will see my heart rate recovery on the first minute after exerting, using 7 or 8 beats. But I will consistently exercise on the treadmill, and you see my heart rate recovery on the first minute is about 14, 15, and 16. Now lastly, when do you stop? You stop because every gym, commercial gym, they limit you only 30 minutes on a treadmill because other people want to use. So we calculated and we use this formula exactly over a time frame of 30 minutes. And then we calculate you that this person at 105 beats per minute, he can stop. Because this is the potassium level. This is the potassium level. It's consistent. This is the potassium level. The potassium level will go up, and then you come down, and you maintain at the consistent level of the heart rate, according to heart rate. And during this level here, when you slow down or when you stop exercising, you activate the system, the vagal tone. Once you activate the vagal tone, your heart rate starts to slow down, everything starts to slow down. But then the potassium still remains in the blood. The catecholamine continues to rise. So what you need to do is to bring the potassium back. But then when you slow down, of course the muscle will reabsorb potassium, the serum potassium. And mind you, most of the time, it will overdraw the potassium and you have hypokalemia. Right? When you slow down and hypokalemic, you will find that you are going to be going through syncope, dizzy, right? And you may also have a fatal arrhythmia that can cause death. So the potassium level at the core in this area called a channelopathy is one of the causes of sudden death. Of course, there are many other cases other than long QT syndrome. All right? The septum is thick, valve problems, congenital heart disease. These are something that we can't do. This is what God wants when you're born. But in potassium, in the process of cooling down, we can control it. So that's what we are doing here. All right? So this is the treadmill that we work. Because I always believe that I, as a teacher, to my students, I want to make sure that my students will commercialize what they learn. There's no point that you teach your students, complete the thesis, and the thesis goes into the drawer. You study sports science, you become an accountant. You study sports science, you become something else, a salesman. Nothing wrong being an accountant, nothing wrong being a salesman. Still, people make a lot of money and it's very successful. But then you waste 4 years of your studies. So what we do in our college, we hire back our students. Rin is one of my students, cohort 1. Chi is one of my students. Actually, I'm supposed to bring another 3 more, but because of the visit to the our prison board, 3 of them have to stay back. So what we do is that when we do research, we will industrialize it to those equipment manufacturers, and then we want them to commercialize the research paper, right? So I hope that the students, they are able to do more on what they study. So this is the changes of heart rate, potassium level. As you see, these are the potassium level. Phase 1, as the heart rate goes up and goes down here. And normally, just a hypoglycemic, if you have studied, if you have understood what is a hypoglycemic dip, the body will pull the sugar too low and you feel dizzy, right? Same here, hypokalemic. Right? This is one of the research that we did with the UNISHAM, is a medical university back up north in my country. So we draw potassium every 10 minutes. And then we found that at 70%, irregardless of the condition of any athletes, any health individual, they are safe. We don't see the potassium fluctuates, whether it's hyper or hypo. So this is the paper that we are trying to publish now. Right? Of course, stretching the PNF, I think you know what's PNF, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. Of course, there are many other easier ways to stretch. You can do your dynamic stretch, you can do a static stretch, whatever. But do it safely. Right?
So last 5 minutes, sir.
So Dr. Fit, this is a software that we do after your assessment, and then you will prescribe exercise program. This software was developed by me when I came back from the United States working for Joe Wheeler back in 1987. Most of you are not even born yet. So we developed this, and this software will tell. This program is for diabetes, and then we have a comparison after every 3 months when we do another review. Here we set up the exercise medicine clinic. This is how it looks like. This is the second exercise clinic. All right. This is a little bit special because we have 2 health ministers that insist that they want to launch it. This is one of them, the health minister, and then this is the second health minister. So there were 2 health ministers that they want to launch it because it's something new, see, politicians. All right. And this is where we sign the MOA. This is how it looks like. This is in Port Dickson. These are the Malaysian Prison Board. We set up the whole thing for the Malaysian Prison Board. And then we use them, those who have been released, they will go out, either we absorb them to work with us, or they go out, or those who have not been released, they are still serving sentence, then they will serve within the prison. All right? Okay, I'm not going to go through this because Professor Rajesh has given me a warning, first warning. So these are all the changes of the statistics, how patient has improved. All right, this is our pilot project, and these are all the improvements of pre-hypertension improved by 56%, pre-diabetic 34%, overweight, obesity, and so forth. Correct exercise instruction, like I mentioned. Okay, you got to get it right, do it right. At the exercise medicine clinic, what do we have in the exercise medicine clinic? We have cardiac rehab. We do active aging program. We have home therapy program led by Rin and Chi. Down south in Johor, we have been so successful with them. Those who are paralyzed and those who are bedridden, they couldn't move. And we use what we call the exercise rehab program. Right? That's our home therapy. This gentleman, when we first went there, he said, "I'm waiting to die. No one can help me." But after 5 to 6 months, he has begun to walk. Right? So these are the things that we have done, and now we are expanding this rehab program. So all these things are related to exercise. Right? And then we also have a physiotherapy unit. just recently launched because the minister insists that we have one. This is a World Conference, Scientific Committee, Active Aging Symposium, and this is our mobile health van. This is our Deputy Prime Minister, this is the Chief Minister, and this is a representative from the Parliament area, and this is the Minister. This Minister is the one who initiated all this. She was the Sports Minister when I served her as a panel advisor back in 2004. Exercise dosage and creating a norm. Congratulations again to India. You have overcome and beat China by 10 million population. You should give yourself a clap. And interestingly, you will not go through what we call the missing middle. Singapore is going through a missing middle where the young ones are not enough to take care of the old ones. And when they send the old one into those homes, there's no one to take care of them. So we have created programs like this. Now 2011, just another 2 minutes, bro. Back in 2011, I came to Bangalore. When I was in Bangalore, I represented the Ministry on Traditional Medicine. All right? And you have 1.2 billion. And there were many speakers who say that traditional medicine, you got to learn 90 credit hours of anatomy and physiology. Some of them are what we call grandfather clocks. You have no idea what is anatomy and physiology, but your great-great-great-grandfather brought down these skills. Right? What I want to say here is that you have 1.3 billion. India, you can create your norms by more research. India, you can be bigger than WHO. I'm not trying to instigate anything. Every country that I go, I look into the population of every areas, because subject is very important in science. You have no subject, there's nothing to do. But you have 1 billion people, more than anyone in this world. Create yourself more norms, do more research, and you're going to be the world leader. Because you are many, many times the head of the United States, which is the world leader now. All right? This too will put you into the map. And this is the second time, and I was very excited when we were on the way here, we were checking the population status of India, and she told me that, hey, they have overcome China. So second time that I'm talking that, so many BBIP here, so many deans, so many people who lead universities, do more research, create more norms. Right? We don't have to follow other people's norms. Your norms is good enough to represent Asia. Asia. We're not talking about European continent. We're not talking about Northern American or American, no. We're talking about Asia. You know how many countries are there? All right? So thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, I think I'm listening to you
Thank you, Professor Lee, and really enlightening us with this latest trend which is going in the field of exercise medicine and the wonderful work which you have been doing, particularly in this area of this sudden death. Also, you have been leading this part also. That's a great one. And we have very less time, but we can still take 1 or 2 questions.
Is there any questions?
Please.
Sure.
Ejection friction. You have already mentioned in a specific slide, that is ejection ratio or ejection fraction, that is, what is that?
Oh no, I didn't mention about ejection fraction. I was talking about heart rate return.
No sir, in heart rate return, cardiac output, and there is a stroke volumes, and there is also ejection ratio or ejection fraction, something like that.
Well, of course, when you exercise, one of the positive adaptation is that your ejection fraction will be good. All right, the percentage will be there, and you will have lesser residue blood into the left
Like
ventricle.
ejection from left ventricle.
Of course, it's left.
Oh, okay.
Ejection fraction is very important to prescribe exercise for heart patients.
Mm.
People with heart failure, aged population, this is one of the most important criteria for exercise.
Of course, yes, agree.
Ejection fraction,
Yes, ejection fraction.
very important.
Yeah.
So what?
But then you see, in an exercise clinic, we do not have those facilities to measure ejection fraction. We can only calculate what that is easy to calculate.
How we can
Like
calculate
your
that?
heart rate.
Numerator and denominator. If there is some ratio, there must be some numerator and denominator.
Of course, that we leave it to them.
What is that?
That we leave it to the cardiologist to determine. Because on our part, we do the basic part that, what's your heart rate? Is the heart rate low? Is the heart rate high? Are you tachy or brady? So based on that, okay, of course, ejection fraction, we know that the stronger your heart, the lesser percentage that
It
is.
is for a clinical setting.
Yes, that's on the clinical setting. It's not an exercise clinic yet,
In
correct?
day-to-day life, we cannot, because like how to calculate, that is also the challenge.
One
Yes.
by one,
Ejection
please.
fraction, how to yeah, you need to do a 2D cardiogram. Then only you can
Correct,
calculate from
yeah.
how- So it's only for clinical settings.
Yeah.
Post-discharge patients. For
Correct.
them, mostly it is an essential part of in-house cardiac rehabilitation program. When you discharge the patient, we do check ejection fraction. Also, when you review the patient to revise exercise prescription, ejection fraction is very, very important.
Yes.
So it's very important question.
Yes, correct.
So what is that suggestion you are giving for these sudden deaths?
Sorry?
Sudden deaths, you
Sudden,
presented.
oh, yeah, thanks.
So what is that?
Professor Brenda.
What is that? In a physical exercise that you are going to suggest to minimize or to stop,
Yes.
or at least to identify that sudden deaths.
Of course, we all know that now every sudden death that occurs when they do a post-mortem is congenital heart disease or heart failure. Right? Whether the post-mortem is done, well, of course, different countries there's a different approach. And the man dies, heart condition, that's it. But of course, in literature, physiologically, the level of potassium plays a very important role. So at this level of potassium, it can be controlled if we will have a proper cool-down process that we calculated that the heart rate goes linearly according to the level of serum potassium. So to bring the potassium back to within the normal, about 3.5 millimole, so heart rate will calculate it, we call it heart rate return. So once you reach the heart rate return, let's say 105 like in the slides, your potassium level is back to normal. Because we have no idea. We're going to prick you. Like them, prick you is not good enough. We're going to draw your blood, and then we're going to send it to the lab. So you cannot draw blood for every patient that you have. So what we do is that we know that if the calculate of your heart rate, that heart rate, if it's being calculated correctly, what we call a heart rate return, we know at that heart rate return, your potassium is back to normal. So this is what we want to control sudden death through one of the way called channelopathies, which is hypokalemia, which can cause syncope and fatal arrhythmia. Of course, like I said, there are so many other reasons that the heart can stop.
Is there any study has been done post-COVID environment? Many of the young people are dying during the exercise period. In India, we have seen, many young people died out of heart attack, died out of brain stroke. Is there any specific study has been done to
No.
preserve it?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Dr. Lim, is
I
there any?
think ICMR has done a study recently to prove that vaccine doesn't cause any death, because there is an ambiguous theory among people that COVID vaccine has killed people. To prove that, they have done a recently published good study by Indian Council of Medical Research as equivalent to WHO for India. They have proved vaccine doesn't kill. Yes, serious post-COVID grade 3, grade 2 COVID affected people are having some degree of risk of cardiovascular problems in future, especially when they indulge in extreme exercise. Even the American football players who all, when returned to the game after 6 months, there were many fatalities in a post-COVID scenario. So COVID has definitely changed the cardiovascular disease scenario all over the world.
Yeah. It has actually
And
remodeled the heart.
preventing sudden death is a multifactorial system.
Multifactorial, yeah.
So we cannot really
Yeah.
have a serious guideline, but lifestyle management is one of the key
We would
factors.
just use this
Thank you.
potassium in our guide. But of course, the vaccine, because of COVID-19, it's invasive. And we know in all the research we have between the first 10% and the second last 10%, we have 80% to create a norm. There will be population around the world that falls on the first 10% and he can die. And they say, oh, vaccine killed me. Or the second last 10% of the ending part of it, which doesn't fall into the norm, and he can also die. But 80% seems to be safe. That's how they subject in the random selection of the subjects.
Thank you very much, sir. It is a professorship. Muhammad has presented a good paper or a talk on the importance of exercise for healthy lifestyle. Already he is leading the movement. Exercise is a medicine, and he organized the many conference to promote physical exercise as a medicine to promote a healthy life. It is a wonderful presentation. Anybody want to ask anything, you can ask him personally. And we are thankful to the organizers. Dugret sir, please take charge.
Hello. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Khanna sir and Dr. Wali sir for the chair session. And I request Dr. Dogre sir to facilitate the speaker, keynote address, and the chairperson with the certificate. Thank you, sir. As we come to the Thank you, sir. As we come to the end of the session 1 of the two-day international conference, and now we'll be having a short tea break. Please be seated here. We'll be having a very short program. Hello. The tea break for the resource person and delegates will be served on this hall only, and the students of our institution, BPA program 1, BPA program 2, and the PhD scholars, the tea is arranged on the ground floor. And as we are having very short break, you have to be gathered here within 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, we will be having a very short program.